I just wanted to pop in here real quick to talk about 5 reasons why you won't be a billionaire, even if you want to, and what to do about them. Now, I have some notes, so I'm going to be taking a look at them as I speak with you. Um, well, my one of my life goals, of course, is to be a mega billionaire, one of the richest people in the world, to go as far financially. And as I start to talk with people about this desire of mine, as I start to be more open, more proactive, more bold about it, I realize that there are a lot of you who also would love to be billionaires. Because, I mean, the bottom line is, as a millionaire, we can only do so much for the world in terms of impact and influence. Billionaire, as billionaires, can you imagine what we would be able to accomplish, the goals that we'll be able to pursue, the causes, the charities that we'll be able to support, the uplifting that we'll be able to do? Take as an African woman or an African American woman being on the cover of Forbes magazine Billionaires. Can you imagine what that would do in terms of uplifting a lot of other women in Africa, women in developing countries, and even women in so-called developed nations as well? I mean, being here in the United States, I think there's about 50 women in the United States. Or is it 50 total? No, about 50 self-made. I am not 100% sure. I've got to check my facts. But they're not, there are not that many women who are billionaires, even here in the United States where I live. And out of all those, only one African woman who's a billionaire, Oprah Winfrey. Right? So it's time to step out of our shells and really pursue those big goals. No matter where you come from, we all have these desires. And so, but in pursuing these desires, I tend to find that there are reasons that I'm using to stop myself, or that you may be using to stop yourself from really going deep. And we need to examine the reasons and push them aside and take a deep dive into pursuing that billionaire dream, that highest possible level, because we are capable of doing it. So let's dive right in. The first reason why you won't be a billionaire, even if you want to, is fear. Yes, I asked this question a few days ago, and of course, there were many people who said they don't have any fear for being a billionaire, but there were those who actually stated the fears that they have. One person said they were afraid of losing their privacy and they're afraid of being visible. So this is a major thing. It's a major reason that stops you. And sometimes you want to be something, but you don't examine fear. So the fear of being visible is a big one. So for instance, being able to come on a Facebook Live like this on my profile and do a Facebook Live, that shows I am not afraid of being visible at this level. But what about me on the cover of Forbes magazine? What about me on TV, on public television, right? Being seen all over the world and my wealth being shown all over the world. What about me being written about in articles all over in big magazines? Right? What about going to the grocery store and looking at, those the corner in the grocery stores where they have all those magazines around the checkout sections? How about being on those and you really have no direct control per se? That's the fear of being visible. People are afraid of being visible. So what you need to do is examine that fear, okay? When people write things about you, people are going to say things about you, things that are untrue, some that are true, things that you may not want to get out, that kind of thing. How are you going to feel about that? Is your desire for being a billionaire stronger than your fear of being visible? Hey, Hannah. Is your desire for being a billionaire stronger than your fear of being visible, stronger than your fear of your loss of privacy? Well, if your desire is stronger, then you can pursue, you can break right through that barrier of fear of being visible by stepping up and just taking the small steps and really learning not to give a rip what other people think. Because what? The advantages of being a mega billionaire far outweigh the little things that are going to be said about you. You're not even going to care. Plus, imagine this. You are wealthy enough, you have enough influence that you could, if you wanted to, pay for people full-time, and their job would simply be to look around and make sure that things are not being said about you. Basically, to control what is said about you, because you have the ability, you have the money as a billionaire. So if you fear being your loss of privacy, you are capable of getting that privacy through your financial abundance, right? So yeah, so definitely do not let that fear stop you. There's also the fear of getting kidnapped. A lot of people are afraid. Again, this ties into visibility, right? Because I mean, if you're shown as being visible, very wealthy, and you're everywhere in the magazines, people are afraid that they or maybe someone they love may be kidnapped, right? And that tends to scare people. It's a legitimate fear. However, there is no reason for you to be afraid of that. Hey, Marika, there's no reason for you to be afraid at all of being scared, of being kidnapped, because you have security is incredible. And for the most part, just think about all the billionaires that exist, the Bill Gates. Hey, Angelica, the Bill Gates of the world and the Oprahs of the world, you know, they are living in the Jeff Bezos. I mean, Jeff Bezos is the wealthiest person in the world, according to Forbes magazine right now, as far as they can count, right? And they are not afraid of showing up, of being out there, being visible. They are not afraid of the whole kidnapping thing. I think that whole kidnapping thing has been put out there so much by Hollywood, you know, and that scares people away. But again, go back to your desire. Is your desire for being a mega billionaire stronger, more powerful? Is it calling you forward in a much more powerful way than any fear that you have of you or your loved ones being kidnapped? And you're going to have control over that. I mean, with the financial abundance, you're on top of these technologies of keeping your family safe. Think about the presidents and their kids and all that. I mean, come on now. There really is no reason for you to be afraid of that. And if you're afraid of hard work, because there's this misconception or idea that to be a billionaire takes hard work. Well, is it harder than the work you're doing now? I think not. I think not. It is not harder. It's just a calling and a desire. You have to self-motivate, so to speak. You have to inspire yourself, push yourself every day, get out there and do what you need to do until you build a sustainable business or investment portfolio that starts to take care of itself. I don't feel that the work is as challenging, or rather more challenging than what you're doing right now. You're already working hard, so you might as well pursue billionaire vision without the fear that it's going to be even harder work, because that's not true. You can afford to have the support systems, large scale, that you need in order to take care of business, so you can enjoy the financial abundance that's coming to you, right? And you can be all over the world, be able to travel and live the lifestyle that you want, and still have your portfolio, your financial portfolio growing, you know, your investments growing on a large scale. Take, for instance, when Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook bought WhatsApp. You know, when he bought WhatsApp from John Coombe, they had a business deal, an investment deal that netted John Coombe over $19 billion. I mean, this guy went from a millionaire to a multi-billionaire overnight as a result of having this deal with Facebook. Facebook took over WhatsApp, right? And that created a few more billionaires, because John Coombe's partner, WhatsApp partner, also became a billionaire, not to talk of the investors that had invested in WhatsApp in their startup company. They also skyrocketed, made millions. And then the government as well, right? I mean, everyone forgets this, but each time there's a deal like this, the government takes taxes. So can you imagine the taxes that the government took on this deal when Facebook purchased WhatsApp? Each deal. So it's not the hard work that you're afraid of. And you really shouldn't be afraid of hard work, because what I say, you can do hard. We can all do hard. We can learn new strategies. We can learn new things. Yes, it may be a little bit frustrating, but we can. And there's no reason why we should stop ourselves from pursuing the things that we want to pursue. And we can pursue it in a what I call easy way, right? So take me, for instance, contracts. I hate reading contracts. Contracts are long, they're boring, they're they're written in attorney language, and I just don't like looking at all that stop. And it just clogs my mind when I look at a long contract, right? So what do? I am not going to not read the contract. Even if my attorneys explain, I still have to pick up the contract and read line by line. So how do I make looking at this contract, which I consider to be hard work, how do I make it easy? Simple. I developed a really simple system where I, get myself, a cup of tea or drink that I like. I sit down and I read the first 2 paragraphs. I read them. Sometimes I have to read like 2 or 3 times, right? I read the first 2 paragraphs. I make some notes and then I go take a break. I turn on some music, dance, I think about what I just read in that contract, I pause, I go back, after 10 minutes, I read the next paragraph. So I have developed this system for myself to make contract reading easy. So again, you can do hard, I can do hard, and we can make hard easy as we pursue our billionaire dreams. All right, point 2, why won't you be a billionaire even if you desire it? Well, misconceptions. And word misconceptions. Let me just pause. Hey, Tanzina. Hey, Denise. So what is it about the misconceptions? Well, Hollywood has played a role in teaching us falsely about billionaires. And yeah, maybe there are some billionaires that fit the Hollywood mold, but they're not that many. I promise you. And they will not be you, right? Because you have your own style of being a billionaire. So what is the first misconception that is stopping you from becoming a billionaire? It is that billionaires are greedy people, okay? And that they make their wealth by forcing other people to do the work for them. So they torture people to do the work for them. And that makes them wealthy in some way. Okay. And please go ahead and put any comments in. If you're watching this, you want to put your own comments in, share what you think is stopping you from being a billionaire, why you don't think you'd be a billionaire, even if you want to, and we can talk about that. So anyway, yes, so billionaires are greedy, billionaires control the government, they control people, they force people to do stuff in order to get the wealth. Billionaires are eccentric, right? Like I was watching The Umbrella Academy and I could only watch like 1 or 2 episodes and I was done with that because they had this eccentric billionaire on there and, he bought all these kids and raise them in this really strange fashion. Like, oh my gosh, please. Okay, so these things subconsciously, they get in your mind when you read them, and then you start thinking of billionaires in this really weird way. Let's see. Okay, so let's dive into, so let me just say, you can be whatever type of billionaire you want to be. It is not the fact that you're a billionaire that causes you to be greedy or eccentric. If you're a greedy person, you've already been that way, right? Before you became a billionaire and during that time. But you get to determine what type of billionaire you want to be. Hey, Nanette, you get to determine the type of billionaire you want to be. So that misconception about the types of people billionaires are, the greedy, eccentric, control billionaires, that is not going to be you, right? Because you have control over who you are. Okay, the third reason you won't be a billionaire, even if you want to, is the lack of how. Most people don't know how to be a billionaire. Become a billionaire. No one is teaching anywhere how to be a billionaire. In fact, every single billionaire that I have read about, no one's taught them how to be a billionaire. Do you think that someone called Mark Zuckerberg on the phone and said, hey, Mark, I'm going to teach you to be a billionaire before he became the billionaire of Facebook? I don't think so. And no one called Oprah up for that matter, right? So no one's really going to telephone you and say, I'm going to teach you how to be a billionaire, except me. Maybe. Who knows? I could be that billionaire who called and say, hey, I'm going to teach a class on how to be a billionaire. Who knows? But for right now, the how is the challenge for most people. And because they don't know how to be a billionaire, what to do in order to be a billionaire, when that idea to their minds, most of us, well, not me, I'm running with that idea, that's for sure. I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people just dismiss the idea because they don't really think that it's something that they can accomplish because they don't know how. And I'm here to tell you that, yes, you may not know how, but once you accept the idea and to marinate in the idea, there is a difference between really really wanting to be something and just wishing you could be. And so most people stay in that idea of just wishing they could be a billionaire and not really pursuing it, or even thinking that they, even believing that they can even accomplish that, right? It's for other people, it's not for them, that type of thing. But if you happen to be like myself and you know that you are destined to be a mega billionaire in this lifetime, to create the impact and influence on a really large scale, and that your life is focused on several goals, but this is a main one, you have to relax about the how and start creating a business, because that's one of the ways. Yes, I know that there are a couple of CEOs who are billionaires. I forget I forget their names, they just escape me, but the Meg Whitman, I believe, of oh man eBay. Yeah. Meg Whitman of eBay, right? She's a CEO. She's not the owner or founder of eBay, but she's a billionaire. And then you have the Facebook CEO as well. Oh man, I can't believe the names just escaped my mind. But woman who's also CEO, she is a billionaire as well. But that is really rare in our society. Most billionaires are business owners. So the first thing you need to do to break through that how is to start a business of any sort. Just get out there and start a business. Now that business will be the pathway to your billions. You may not even see how your business will take you to being a billionaire, but starting your business is the first step, and it opens up your energy space. It opens up your mental and emotional sphere to understanding what it takes to grow a business. Now, remember that even investing in that's also doing business, right? So even if you were just a person who said, hey, I'm just going to invest in these various stocks, just let my stocks grow and create a billionaire fortune, that's still business. And you get to learn those processes by actually opening up your own. So even if you don't know how, it's not a big deal. Go ahead and get started right now by opening a business and doing your business, and then focusing and allowing your divine to bring the ideas that will lead to you being a billionaire. And it's amazing when you work in conjunction with your great juju, the divine, that you see pathways that you hadn't thought of, things you don't even know right now. Open up, hey, Oyasumi, those pathways begin to open up. So yes, definitely. So that was point number 3. Number 4, the fourth reason why you won't be a billionaire, even if you want to, and what you do about it is, okay, there's a lot of complaints. A lot of people believe that they are too poor to be billionaires, or that they live in a poor country, or that the color of their skin in them, or that the sex, they're female or male or whatever. All these things. And while these can be valid reasons for people, truly when you understand how to work in sync with the divine, there is no reason for you not to pursue your billionaire goal. This is very important. When you receive the idea and it excites you, it is because the pathway for you to realize that has already been created. So by the time you get the idea, wow, I could be a billionaire. There are billionaires out there. I really like the lifestyle of billionaire. I wish I could be a billionaire. By the time that idea comes to you, it means that the pathways are already available for you. So it doesn't matter where in the world you live. We're reading a book. I have a group. Oh, okay. Excuse me one moment. Let me reach over here. So I have a group, called Manifest High Net Worth Facebook group. And in that group, we're reading a book called The $1 Billion Secret. This is the book. Okay. The $1 Billion Secret is 20 Principles of Billionaire Success. So the author travels the world and interviews billionaires. And I promise you that when you read this book and you hear where some of these billionaires came from, were born and raised, and how they got out of it, you will never complain about the color of your skin stopping you, whether you're poor, whether you live in a poor country. Your reasons, If you have a desire, those reasons that stop you will simply melt away. They really should, especially if you were born in and you've been raised in like the United States, where we have so much abundance, right? I mean, no complaints. Those are just mind games that you play with yourself to stop you from really going after what you desire. And could there be people who try to stop you? There could, but there will be a lot more people who support you and who are helping you to achieve your dreams than those who, you see? So keep going. Don't let that reason stop you. And then the fifth and final reason is, and this is a biggie, this is a religious one. Money is the root of all evil. I heard that statement. That is a biblical statement. It is a subconscious statement. Well, it's actually in the Bible, obviously, and it's been taught for generations. But subconsciously, it's been passed down from generation to generation for people to fear money. People are afraid of money because they don't want to be evil, and they believe that money makes them evil. I mean, if you look at films, movies, you read books, there are a lot of stories of very wealthy people doing some really terrible things to poor people. And so if you want to be a good person, why would you want to be rich when you know that rich people really do these terrible things? So subconsciously, you push away financial abundance. You have a contradiction within you that says money is the root of all evil. And of course, you don't want to be evil. This is a biggie. And this is in almost everyone who has ever been a part of religion. I don't care what religion it is, whether it is Islam or it is Buddhism or Hinduism or Christianity or whatever. It is very likely that somewhere in your religion, you are being shown that wealthy people do bad things and poor people actually do good things. And that it is somehow better to be poor because poverty somehow opens up your doorway to heaven or something of the sort. And I want you to break that down, to really go in deep within yourself and make sure that you don't have this contradiction going on in your vibration. Because guess what? If you do have this contradiction going on within you, I mean, you may not even be thinking about it every day, but it's there when you go to church, it's there when you sit in your meeting, it's there. And when opportunities for financial abundance come, you self-sabotage. Things happen, things pop up that make you lose those opportunities. You don't take action on them. You skip them. Those types of things happen. Hey, Mabel. And as a result, you lose those financial opportunities. You lose that financial abundance. You see how that happens? So it is very important for you to examine this and to let go of this. And it is true that money in itself is just vibration. It's just energy. It's just like anything. It is the person handling the money that decides what they're going to do with it, right? So it's you get to decide what kind of billionaire you want to be. Are you going to be the billionaire who tortures children? Or are you going to be the billionaire who helps? Right? So you get to determine, because money is not the root of all evil. It is false. It is false. Scratch that out of your book, your Bible, your whatever, and contradict whoever, the pastor or whomever tells you about that. Just tell them, no, it is not true. It is not true, because that is a barrier to you receiving financial abundance. And it's so interesting because, you look at the Bible, you see someone like the King Solomon. I am not, but I was raised on that religion and I went my own path to do my own things eventually. But I still have some of those ideas. I still remember some of those things. You look at someone like King Solomon, he was very wealthy and he's revered in the Bible. So what is it? What is it? So stop telling people that money is the root of all evil and making them afraid of money. And then you go to church and they pass around the plates to collect money. So if money is the root of all evil, why collect money in church? How do you get to live? How do you build the churches? How do you do good things in the world? The bottom line is billionaires are some of the most giving people in the entire world. They contribute billions of dollars to charity every single year. Billionaires do. And there are only 2,500 billionaires in this entire world. That's a very small amount, but I promise you, they are such givers. For the most part, billionaires give so much money. and they help so many causes. I mean, think of Melinda Gates, Bill Gates' wife. I was watching Oprah interview her, and she travels the world. She does incredible good with the money that she has, the money that they have. She spends hundreds of millions, billions of dollars giving. I mean, can you do that? Can I do that? Not yet. In the future, yes, when we're billionaires, we'll be able to do that stuff on a large scale. But I promise you, you don't see all of this. You don't see that their charity work being talked about as much as they're spending. Do you see? For billionaires, for instance, if a billionaire were to spend, $5 million or $10 million on their child's wedding or on their child's birthday, or buy them a Rolls Royce or whatever, you will hear that on the news much more than if that billionaire were to write $100 million check and give it to some charity. You would hardly hear it, because the news likes drama, and they'd like to make you feel that billionaires are some crazy people, but that is not true. So I did this live in order for you to examine the reasons why you are stopping yourself from being a billionaire, and to encourage you to not stop yourself, to pursue your desire for being a billionaire, to consistently ask how, when, why, and to open up a business and get started regardless, to play with the idea of you as a billionaire, to examine what type of lifestyle you're living as a billionaire, what causes you will support as a billionaire, because it is truly a beautiful thing. I get to do that as well. I get to examine the type of person that I will be as a billionaire, the type of lifestyle I would like to live as a billionaire. And in addition, guess what? I have created a mastermind event, BillionairesRise.com. The event is taking place in Chicago, March 20 to 21, 2020. And I am bringing together a powerful group of amazing speakers. You will see, if you look at my profile picture, you will see the speakers there. And as well as, they're not on the profile, but I'm bringing together some venture capitalists as well, who are ready to fund your causes. So if you have some business ideas, or if you have a business but you're looking to scale and you don't have the funds to do it, you are very much encouraged to attend Bespoke Billionaires Rise in Chicago 2020, so that you can meet with these VCs and share your ideas with them. It's sort of like, I won't say it's a Shark Tank, because it is not, but the VCs are going to be present and they'll be listening to what you have to offer. In addition, we have a speaker there who helps prepare people like yourself with great ideas to pitch, how to pitch, so that investors will actually fund your ideas, and she has the templates there. We have speakers that are about coaching and conversations, so how to have conversations that convert to clients, right? We're going to be talking about how to keep your business relevant. I mean, so whether you have a business or you don't have a business and you just have an idea, or you're just thinking the possibility of having a, I encourage you to go now to BespokeBillionairesRise.com. You can see the link in here, and go register. Join us in Chicago 2020. Register for the event and come hang out with us, because we're going to be in a space with women and men who are powerfully calling forth that idea of a billionaire. They're powerfully immersed in the billionaire consciousness, that idea. So just hanging around that, who have businesses that they're currently scaling, and people who have this vision of being a billionaire, is totally going to supercharge your own energy, your own business. In addition, we're going to be sharing our Rolodexes. We're going to be introducing you to people that you can join venture with to grow your business. So what are you waiting for? Head over to BespokeBillionairesRise.com and enroll. And I will see you in Chicago on March 20 to 21st, 2020. Have a great day.